In every important movement, there's always people who claim to be fighting the same fight, but somehow their energy always ends up sideways. And instead of pushing anything forward, they wind up criticizing, nitpicking, and stirring up chaos. They get caught up in the drama, the righteousness, and they wind up doing and saying anything that will get them the attention they never had. Even if it means lying, betraying their friends, and comes at everyone else's expense. It's predictable. The ones who never put anything real on the line are the quickest to judge other people who do. All because it serves their fragile egos. Most people don't have what it takes to change the world. Do you? I'm Jenna Miscavige. I was born and raised in Scientology. I left when I was 21 years old and wrote a book about it. My uncle, David Miscavige, is the leader of Scientology. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Jenna Miscavige. My uncle's the leader of Scientology. I was born and raised in it, and I escaped when I was 22, and I've been an outspoken critic about Scientology for nearly 20 years now. I'm here talking to you on Aaron's channel today because he was taken into custody on 2 bogus misdemeanor charges that he picked up while protesting Scientology. So he can't post right now, but I wanted to come on here and say some really important things because I want Scientology and everybody else to understand something very clearly. If you think that taking Aaron offline is going to silence him or me or this community, you couldn't be more mistaken. That's not how this works. You don't shut people like us up. We're only going to double down. You don't put a stop to anything. You reinvigorate us and you spark a whole new conversation. Scientology's always relied on intimidation, fear, silencing people, harassment. That strategy may have worked in the past, but that doesn't work anymore. When you try to silence Aaron's voice, this whole community gets louder. You think you're putting a stop to this movement, but really you're just proving to everybody why it needs to exist. These type of tactics aren't new at all, and they aren't just unique to Scientology. Hardship, critics, sacrifice, it's something that everybody who makes a big change in the world has to deal with at one point or another. It's part of the process. Martin Luther King was arrested 29 times, all for bogus things that people tried to do to stop him, and they failed. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison.
I'm an ordinary human being with weaknesses, some of them fundamental, and I've made many mistakes in my life. I am not a saint unless you think of a saint as a sinner who keeps on trying.
Susan B. Anthony was arrested for voting. I can name hundreds of people who were arrested in the process of changing the world. And in the moment, all of these people had critics saying that they were embarrassing, we're doing it wrong, we're being reckless. Looking back, nobody remembers those critics. They remember the people who had the courage to make change, even if that meant putting themselves out there imperfectly, not the way that everybody would agree with. They did it anyways because it was important enough for them to do. And that's why I don't want anybody to be discouraged with what Aaron is going through right now. It's a reminder of the path that we're on. Aaron's somebody who's run multiple foundations for 8 years now who help people leave Scientology, get on their feet, and people who have left Scientology. He spends hours on the phone nearly every day talking to people, learning their stories, learning what help they need. Nobody else in this community does that, myself included. He's told hundreds of former members stories.
When people ask, how did you finally leave? What was the thing that finally happened? And for both of us, it's our children.
In their head, it's their family. They would never think that they would shun them or disconnect from them, when in reality, for Scientology, they're willing to do whatever the fuck it takes to, in their world, they're clearing the planet.
Just imagine saying that to
I can
your
name you
kid.
3 kids I knew growing up whose parents got cancer, got sick, and blamed their kids for it. You caused me in turbulation, so therefore I'm sick now.
He's brought tens of millions of views to the evils of Scientology. He stood up for people who were silenced, abused, mistreated, and he steps up and he does it every day knowing that he's going to get attacked, smeared, followed by PIs, and even betrayed by his own friends. nobody is doing more than him. Not a single person. Contrary to what the judge said and what other bitter and jealous, attention-seeking people want to say online, he's not out there for clicks and views, and neither are the other protesters. We're out here because Marco's wife was raped in Scientology. We're out here because Francisco's father took his own life because of Scientology. Because Aaron's children lost their grandparents due to Scientology's disconnection policy. Because Cheryl was neglected and abused by her father in the name of Scientology until the very end. Because Aaron lost his twin brother to Scientology. Parents have died without speaking to their children because of Scientology. Families are ripped apart, kids grow up without their parents, and because people lose everyone they love for simply walking away. And what's shocking and honestly infuriating is that there are people in power who are there, who are supposed to protect the public, who are seriously uninformed and even bordering on arrogant. They don't know and they don't care what Scientology actually does. And in this case, it's their job to know. And if they don't learn and if they refuse to understand the harm Scientology does, because it's uncomfortable for them, then they're no better than Scientology. Because when your job is to bring justice, but your ignorance continues the harm, at some point it becomes participation. This moment doesn't make us step back. It defines us. And it reveals who's with us and who sees the bigger picture, who has courage, compassion, and loyalty, and those who are only pretending to. Changing the world is not for everyone. Most people don't have what it takes. They don't have the backbone, the heart, or the willingness to stay in the fire when things get hard. But a few people do. And Aaron is one of them. And the people who truly make a difference, they take risks. And sometimes that's messy, and sometimes that's full of mistakes, but they have the courage to put themselves out there anyways. Those are the people who shape history. And if you're here right now, watching and supporting and sending love and messages of compassion and encouragement, you're one of those people too. So thank you.
Helping Natalie test.
I appreciate
The audio, is it working?
You say the audio is cutting in and out. Hi, Jamie. How are you?
You know, if it's you could just undo the thing and your audio is going to be relatively okay. If you take the whole receiver out, you'll be relatively okay. Yeah.
Hello.
Marcy, so nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out.
It's not as hot
Yeah.
as it was.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much for coming out.
I know. Look at that. Oh no, I feel like I stabbed you.
Did I stab you?
Well, yeah,
Yes.
but I made it stab you. That is so freaking cute. Look at that. That is amazing.
Look at this amazing banner.
Sure, yeah.
You know, we got to get this banner closer to an intersection or something because this is unreal.
No, you
So
look
I'm going
good.
to
You know?
try to keep.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right